What is up, everyone? As you see, today we're going to be going over how to actually achieve your goals in 2026. In 2025, I set very ambitious goals and I was able to accomplish every single one of these goals basically, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did this and how I actually completely changed my life in 2025. So the goals I set in 2025, my first goal was to hit a $10,000 a month. Keep in mind, when I set these goals, I've been posting on social media for like 4 months. I had 200 followers. I was making about $1,000 a month from like doing like reselling, and I didn't really have anything going for me. I was super scared. I didn't know where the future was going to take me, and I was in a very scared state of mind. So I wrote down my first goal, 10K a month. My second goal was to get a new car. My third goal was to have social media as a revenue source. And my last goal was to grow with God, which I should have put at the top. So these are my goals for 2025. I came into 2025 with those goals and I put them on the top of my desk. So they were on the top of my desk every single day. Every day I sat here on this desk and worked for hours a day. I saw these goals. And I completed every single one of those goals. The only one I haven't completed is buying a new car, which I could buy, but I kind of matured and realized it doesn't matter that much, and I'd rather keep growing, investing towards my future. So yeah, here's how I actually was able to accomplish these goals and change my life. So how to actually achieve your goals in 2026. Most people think goal achievement is about doing more, right? Oh, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to do more this year. More. No, it's about becoming the type of person who doesn't hesitate when it's time to act. 2026 won't reward the person who talks more about most about their goals, who sets the most goals, right? Who, has their notebook setting 100 goals and they're going to accomplish this. No, it rewards the person who acts without negotiating with themselves first. It rewards action. It rewards identity shift. So we're going to build a model you can actually follow, not just hear. Number one, goals fail when they're just mental. Everyone writes goals, right? We all do this. We all get our notebook, our whiteboard. We write down our goals, but a few people actually live with them. A goal that, that only lives in your head, you're just thinking about it, oh, I need to accomplish it, but you're never taking direct, hard action. In your head, it becomes heavy. You feel this weight in your mind. It becomes very fragile. When people, try to ask you about that goal, you kind of get very emotionally upset with them. It's very inconsistent. Some days you put an effort towards the goal, and then for weeks straight, you just do nothing. And it's very emotional instead of practical. So achievement starts when the goal moves from a thought to a standard that you do not argue with anymore. What that means is at first the goal is a thought in your head, right? Okay, I want to accomplish this. This would be cool. This is my goal for 2025 is to accomplish this, right? You have it as the ceiling. You need to instead move it to the floor. Okay, you have to be pissed off at yourself. Why do I not have this goal? I deserve this goal. It's ridiculous that I don't have this yet. And once you change it to your standard so that every single day you are upset that you don't have this yet, that's when it becomes so much more easy and practical to actually achieve. I woke up every single day thinking I thought I was making 10K a month. It was this weird thing where I was making like 1K a month, but I felt like I was going to make 10K a month any day now. And I was so pissed off that I wasn't making it. I was so angry that my social media wasn't growing. I was so angry at all these things, right? Because I changed it to be my standard. I thought to myself, I deserve these things. I need to have these things. It's where I should be, okay? So you need to change the ceiling, your goal is to being the standard, the floor. Now, your standards do the work, motivation can't. Motivation is an emotional thing. Some days you feel more motivated than others. You can watch a David Goggins edit, you get that quick emotional hit of, yeah, I'm locked in. No, but motivation is just an emotion, like sadness, happiness, tiredness, they're all emotions. But standards are automatic. It's processes in your brain, which your brain has assumed that this is the way things are. This is just the way life is, okay? Standards sound like things like this. I don't skip days that build me. I do the work even when it's inconvenient. Let me get a sip of tea. I don't let impulses vote on my future. I do this regardless of how I feel. It's your standards. If your standards don't change, your goals will never have a chance at all. If you walk into 2025 and you hold the same identity, the same standards for yourself. Let's say you want to, a lot of my audience wants to stop giving into lust. Say you want to stop giving into lust, but you're still that same person that lets lust slide. It's your same identity that you give into lust. Nothing is going to change. waking up and there's a different date on a calendar, which is even real. Just nothing's going to change. You have to have an internal shift where you change your identity, therefore you change your standards. So instead of setting these huge goals for yourself, figure out, almost what is holding you back. Removing things from your life is more important than adding things. So figure out, what things am I doing which is holding me back? Am I sleeping in? Am I, it's these small things which affect all of our habits. Am I not making my bed? Am I, what are the smallest little things that you might be doing every single day which are setting the trajectory of your day the wrong way? Figure out what these small things are, remove them, and naturally more good things are going to come. That's what you need to do. Thirdly, you must kill the internal negotiation. Most people don't struggle with action. They struggle with a conversation before action. They're about to take action. They start having these thoughts. They're talking to themselves. They have their brains arguing. What if I fail? Do I really need to do this today? Maybe tomorrow it'll be better. One last time, right? It's not going to hurt if I do it one more time. You have these negotiations within your mind. Your mind, it's like you have the devil and the angel fighting with each other. But the real achievers, the real people who actually achieve things in life, they don't silence the fear, right? They say, I might fail, but it doesn't even come in their mind, really. Like, I'm not going to fail. They ignore the negotiation. When that thought comes, what if I fail? They give it no energy. When that thought comes, what if I relapse one more time? They don't even give it energy. They ignore it. You have to ignore these things, these temptations that tell you, you're going to fail, or do it one more time, or maybe tomorrow you're going to stop. Tomorrow will be a better time to do it. You have to ignore the negotiation. Because the real achievers in life, they act until the doubt gets tired. They just do action until that doubt it's exhausted. It doesn't even cross their mind because they're constantly putting in raw action. For me, constantly posting TikToks every single day, working on my app, working on, I had a clothing brand this year. I had a reselling business this year. I had so many things that there was just so much stuff to do. It was so much action to where all this doubt didn't even enter in my mind because I was like, okay, if I do this, the only reasonable thing which is going to happen is something's going to happen, right? If I drop this, if I lean this cup far enough, eventually something's going to fall. So I understood I just have to keep putting in pressure and eventually something is going to change. The law of whatever, okay? The law of something, the law of one of Newton's laws, okay? That's what you have to understand. Now, your body must support the goal. Your nervous system mirrors your beliefs. If you move around with tension, you're scared, you're not thinking creatively, you're not thinking with a creative mindset, and you're walking around with panic, you think, if I don't achieve this, I'm screwed, and you have a very fearful nervous system, what's going to happen is you are going to burn out fast. But what happens is when you move with laminar flow and you just aren't scared of failing and you are just doing these things and it feels supernatural and you have calm direction, you have internal safety, if you fail you're going to be fine, and you have unforced urgency, you naturally are urgent to accomplish these things, but you're not trying to force yourself, and you have presence over perfection. You're just naturally raw action over making things perfect. That's when things weirdly seem to execute perfectly. That's when progress is like, whoa, all this progress, I wasn't even thinking about it. The same thing when you're in the flow state. Let's say if you're painting a painting. What happens is if you're painting a painting and you're moving with so much tension, so much panic, and you're scared, what if I mess up? What if I mess this up? You're going to naturally mess up the painting. But if you're painting the painting and you're in the flow state and you're naturally just doing it, you're not even thinking about painting, it's going to come out perfectly. So you have to move through life not in fear, but move through life with so much self-trust that you're going to accomplish this thing that you don't even think about it. You will execute so much faster, so much cleaner, and so much longer, because that's how you make hard work just feel so much less of a mental cost. For me, I've posted videos every single day for 6 months. I spend 3 hours a day posting videos and maybe another 3 hours a day coding my app. 6 hours a day of just work, and I've never once felt burnt out. Never have I felt burnt out. Every single day. I've never taken a day off. Not one day off. If I go on a vacation, then I schedule out videos for that vacation. And I've never felt burnt out because I naturally do it in this flow state sense. Now, speed comes from clarity, not force. People think that pressure creates speed, but pressure creates turbulence. People think, diamonds form under pressure. Okay, so does coal. If you have all this pressure and your mind's so so much tension in your mind because you think, oh, what if I fail? What if I mess this up? You know, if you're in school, what if I don't get this good grade? All of that pressure creates so much turbulence, and it just makes things so much harder. You can't think you can't think in a creative way because your mind is under so much pressure. But clarity creates fast decisions. You're naturally just creating these fast decisions without thinking about it. Like in basketball, it's a habit. You naturally are just doing things because it's your instinct. It feels habitual. So you're naturally just moving through decisions quickly. You have such clean execution. You're doing things so flawlessly, so perfectly. You have such calm intensity. There's so much intensity, but it's so calm. It's not consuming you. And you're confident, and you have confidence that doesn't need defending later. You're naturally just doing things because they feel right. You don't have to defend them. You don't move faster by rushing. You move faster by not hesitating. So you just have to have a clear headspace. Meditate, journal. I'm telling you, visualize. These things sound cliche, but they work so well. I'm telling you, back in August, man, it's so crazy how I can tell this stuff and it actually worked. Back in August, every morning when I woke up and every night where I went to bed, I would close my eyes and I would visualize a TikTok going viral. I had like 1,000 followers. I would visualize myself hitting 10K, visualize myself hitting 100K, a million. And I also had a personal brand business where I was helping people scale their personal brands. I would close my eyes. I would visualize myself getting a client. And every time I did this, naturally I would get a client and things would just go so smoothly in such a flow state. So you just have to visualize, you have to manifest, you have to journal, and things go so much smoother because you move faster by not hesitating and by just taking action. Reinvention is required for achievement. If you want a different 2026, you can't keep defending the person you were in 2025 because reinvention means you have new standards for yourself, right? Your goals are no longer the ceiling, they're now the floor. You have new behavior, you act different, you walk different, you talk different. You have new self-expectations. You expect yourself to perform these tasks, okay? You don't expect yourself to do the bare minimum, be average. And you have a new internal environment. Your internal space is so much better, man. It's so much more clear, and you just feel happier internally because your goals must become a natural conclusion, not emotional labor. So some things you can do to reinvent yourself that I did years ago. You close your eyes, you imagine that dream version of yourself. How does that person act? How does that person talk? How does he talk to other people? What does he do? What's an exact day of his life? Step by step, map out what does that person do in their life. When they're in certain scenarios, what do they do? You have to imagine that person with so vividly, with so much detail that your mind now can't tell that imagination from reality, and you just become that person over time. It works so well. I want to preach it so it works so well. Try it, man. I'm telling you, if you can do the visualization, it would change your life. So your goals have to become a conclusion, not emotional labor. You don't want to be emotionally tied to your goals. You want to just naturally feel like these goals are just what happens, okay? It's just who you are. Achievement is trained, not announced. Most progress, it compounds invisibly. You don't announce your reinvention. You don't tell everyone, oh, I'm reinvented, oh, I'm this new person overnight. No, you prove it quietly through consistency, through acting like that person one day after another day until it naturally becomes who you are. Because the reward is not applause, it's momentum. And when they say most progress compounds invisibly, it is so true. It is so true. It took me 11 months to hit 1,000 followers on TikTok. 3 or 4 months later, I hit 100,000. It took me 10 months to hit my first $2,000 month. The month after that, I hit my first $9,000 month. It is progress compounds invisibly, and you're gonna feel like nothing ever happens. I got made fun of. I got hated on for my videos. I want to show you guys this, man. This video I'm about to show you guys was maybe a month before my TikTok started to blow up. I had 500 followers. I've been posting every single day for a year. People were, making fun of my videos. They were hating on me, and I felt so much anger because I understood I was going to eventually achieve my goals, but I didn't achieve them yet. And here's a video of what I got sent to me this night. And I got angry at this, right? I got pissed off at this. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. Mute the mic. So here's the video.
Master in order to change your life. Shut the fuck up with your goofy ass. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, let's watch this shit.
It was so much self-hatred I got. I had so many people, they made fun of me, they hated on me, they called me names, they did all these different things. But I knew that any moment I was going to have a breakthrough and my entire life was going to change. So you have to understand, you're going to go through pain. You're going to go through people who, what happens for a lot of people is they try to reinvent their identity, but people still see them as that old self, as that old version. So some things you might have to do is cut off people. If you can move states, it's so huge. So you have to naturally do these things and your life will naturally change, because reinvention is the key to success. It's by reinventing yourself, becoming somebody new. And through reinvention, you're going to go through struggle, man. When you set such high goals, no one's going to be able to see them. They're going to make fun of you. They're going to clown you. But if you have so much grit, I still ask myself, how did I have this much grit, man? For 10 months I was getting made fun of for my videos. Nothing was changing, but I continued to do it. And I'm trying to, imagine, like, what was I feeling that made it so I just kept going? And it was just, I never doubted myself. I always knew I was eventually going to achieve my dreams. I wanted to help people so badly improve their lives that even though my life was gaining more struggle and getting made fun of, to the point where I kept doing it because I knew in the future I was going to help other people. And it was just pure delusion, honestly. I was so delusional that I was going to make it that all the hate didn't even cross my mind. So, understand, if you actually want 2026 to feel different, to be different, to change your life, do not set more goals. Don't upgrade your goals. Upgrade the person who carries them. Change your identity. Become a new version of yourself. Stop negotiating with the old identity. Raise your internal standards, right? The floor, your goals, make them not your ceiling, but your floor. It's a shame you don't have these. You deserve these goals. Regulate your nervous system. Act out of abundance, not out of fear, okay? And lean into action without force. Naturally, just have action take place. That is how you achieve anything. That is how you actually are going to change your life this 2026. And please take action. I want you guys to change your life so badly because I was able to. And you don't do it, and it's not by doing less work, but by resisting yourself less while doing more of the right work. So thank you all for watching. Download the Rewired app if you want to quit giving into lust. It's in my bio. And follow my social medias. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys.